your relationship with Sage in the movie, it's she's who she looks up to. She comes to you for advice and for help. Did you have anybody in your life when you were growing up like that?
I don't know that I went to them for advice, but people impressed me. My Aunt Pearl, who was my mother's sister, she was back in the 40s when women didn't get divorced that often. She raised 3 children by herself, and she was very dignified, but also had a lot of humor. But she was, and I always sort of admired her, and I admired my own mother. My mother was not unlike her. She was, so I had a lot of women around me who were good role models.
My mom, I was closest to my mom. My dad thought I was totally nuts for wanting to pursue an acting career, and I wanted to do it since I was a little kid. And my mom always encouraged me. My dad died when he was 54, and my mom died a week short of 96. And she was always like a mentor kind of a character for me. Always encouraged me to pursue this game.
Right.
And I had mentors, you know, in school. You know, in drama classes and music classes.
Yeah, I mean, usually one's parents can't do that because they're too sentimental, but my dad was very kind but very unsentimental and would always like tell you the thing that you didn't want to hear. And that's sort of Lily's role in the movie too. Like she's it helps that she's the grandmother, not the mother, because she's able to tell her things as they actually stand.
Sage is kind of going through a rebellious stage. She's coming into herself. Did you ever have a rebellious stage?
Oh my God, yes, horrible, just terrible. I mean, I can remember I was uncontrollable. I was one of those teenagers that would like just tear the clothes off you, you're just like, you're just going nuts. And I would wear ballet shoes back in the 50s. I went through different phases. I was hoodie, I was arty, I was everything you could.
Don't we all?
I was square, I was collegiate, when I was in my hoodie stage, I had ballet shoes. I'd wear in Detroit in the winter, and I used to do a joke in my act. I'd say, I hitchhiked to Detroit from Chicago to Detroit. I'm from Detroit to Chicago.
I'm from Detroit too.
You are?
I am.
In ballet shoes.
Oh gosh.
You know, so then I would stuff the ballet shoes with newspaper and put them in the oven and try to shrink them down because they'd get all wet and loose. And I told my mother to watch my ballet shoes when I was about 15. I said, keep an eye on them and everything, and she forgot about them, and they burned up, sort of, and I just went berserk, just screaming and out of control.
I think I was a pretty good kid. I don't think I was much of a rebellious kid, as I recall.
It's good.
Yeah.
Maybe your parents would beg to differ?
No, I don't think they would. If they were around, I don't think they would. In fact, I know that my mom, I read something in print my mom said one time that I was a good kid. And I've got a letter in which she wrote that my dad thought that I was a good kid, never gave him any trouble, so maybe it's true.
They were lucky then.
I was the lucky one.
When your character in the movie runs into Elle again, a lot of old feelings come up. Have you ever had a time in your life where you've had to face your past head on before?
Oh, I think we all do. If we're lucky enough, you know. Hard for you to say because you're a young
22,
lady.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think when you get older that, you know, inevitably, whether it comes because you've had an encounter with somebody or what, that you're going to be faced with choices you've made early on or decisions you made early on.
Absolutely.
Encounters you've had early on, you know.
Some good, some bad.
Exactly. Life has a way of, you know, it's like people talk about, this is going to come back and haunt you someday, you know. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing. It just, you revisit things.
In the movie, your character obviously regrets a few things in his past, is having a hard time coming to terms with a few things. Is there anything in your life that you wish you could do over or that you're still hoping to do?
Oh man, I've got a long list of stuff I'd still like to do. But, you know, you don't get to do it over. There's no do-overs.
Gotta live with your choices.
That's the sad thing. You know, I mean, you make a choice, you know, you better be thoughtful in the decision-making process. And you know, I think that comes with experience and hopefully some maturity, but I think we all make decisions early on. I know I made decisions early on that, well, that wasn't the smartest thing in the world, you know, but life goes on.
And what advice would you give to somebody Sage's age who's just now coming into herself?
Wow. I think being honest. I think being honest is one of the most important things. Honest not only with other people but with yourself. And try to figure out something about a work ethic.
Okay.
And realizing that nothing's for free. Nothing's going to just, not in this world.
Absolutely not.
You know, I mean, it's so competitive out there. There's so many people, particularly in this game we're in, you know, and you're in.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, you know, there's a long line of people that are waiting to be in our shoes, and you got to work at it. You just got to work hard.